Imagine a society where your birth decides your fate, where ancient texts dictate who you are, what you can do, and how you are treated. In 1946, one man dared to challenge this system head-on. His name was Dr. B R Ambedkar, and his book, Were the Shudras, shook the foundations of India's caste system. Today, we are diving into this groundbreaking work, a story of rebellion, truth, and a fight for justice that still resonates today. Buckle up, because this is a journey into history that will change how you see India's past and its present. Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar wasn't just a scholar, he was a revolutionary. Born into a Dalit family, he faced brutal discrimination, denied water, forced to sit apart in school. He knew the sting of the caste system firsthand. But he rose to become a jurist, economist, and the architect of India's constitution. In Who Were the Shudras, dedicated to social reformer Jyotirao Phule, Ambedkar asks two burning questions. Who were the Shudras, and how did they become the fourth varna in India's caste hierarchy? His answers are explosive, challenging centuries-old beliefs and exposing the truth behind one of India's most oppressive systems. Let us start with the basics. In ancient India, society was divided into four varnas: Brahmins, kshatriyas, vaishyas, and shudras. Everyone knows the shudras were at the bottom, doing the hardest, least respected work. But who were they really? Were they always destined to be the lowest rung? Ambedkar says no. His research into ancient texts like the Rigveda and Mahabharata reveals a shocking truth. The Shudras were originally Aryans, part of the same community as the so-called upper caste. Not only that, they were kshatriyas, the warrior class, and some were even powerful kings. This is not just a historical theory, it's a direct attack on the idea that Shudras were inherently inferior. Ambedkar argues that the caste system was not a divine order but a man-made structure manipulated to keep certain groups down. So, how did the Shudras fall from warriors to servants? Let us dig deeper. Ambedkar uncovers a bitter feud at the heart of this story. Long ago, he says, there was a time when Aryan society had only three varnas: Brahmins, kshatriyas, and vaishyas. The Shudras didn't exist as a separate group, they were part of the kshatriya class. But a power struggle changed everything. The Brahmins, who controlled religious rituals, clashed with Shudra kings. Why? Because these Shudra leaders challenged the Brahmins' exclusive right to perform sacred ceremonies like the Upanayana, a ritual that granted access to education and land ownership. In retaliation, the Brahmins refused to perform the Upanayana for Shudras. Without this ritual, Shudras were cut off from education and property rights. Over time, this exclusion pushed them out of the Kshatriya class, degrading them to the fourth varna. Ambedkar points to myths like the story of King Sudas, a respected Aryan figure, to show that Shudras were once powerful. But Brahminical laws like those in the Manusmriti cemented their downfall, branding them as menials and justifying their oppression. Now, here is where Ambedkar flips the script. In his time, many believed in the Aryan invasion theory that fair-skinned Aryans invaded India, conquered the darker-skinned Dravidians, and created the caste system with Brahmins as pure Aryans and Shudras as mixed or native. Ambedkar calls this nonsense. He dives into the Vedas and finds no evidence of an invasion, no records of conquest, no racial divide. In fact, he shows that The term Aryan was not about race at all. It meant ploughed land in Sanskrit, referring to a cultural group, not a skin color. Even Vedic heroes like Rama and Krishna are described as dark-skinned. Ambedkar's evidence is clear. Aryans were native to India, and the caste system was not about race but about power. The Brahmins used texts like the Purusha Sukta, a later addition to the Rig Veda, to justify the four varna system. By claiming divine origin for the caste, they made their authority untouchable. But Ambedkar exposes these texts as political tools, not divine truths. Ambedkar knew his ideas would spark outrage. In the preface to Who Were the Shudras, he recounts receiving death threats and insults after criticizing Hindu scriptures in a speech. Orthodox Hindus, even educated ones like judges and politicians, attacked him for questioning their sacred texts. But Ambedkar was fearless. He compares himself to Dr. Samuel Johnson, saying, "I won't be deterred from catching a cheat by the menaces of a ruffian." He calls Hindu scriptures politically motivated fabrications designed to uphold Brahmin supremacy and oppress Shudras and Dalits. Ambedkar's book was not just a history lesson, it was a call to action. He wrote for the Shudras who had been denied knowledge for centuries. That's why his book is packed with quotations from ancient texts, because he wanted Shudras to see the evidence for themselves. He believed only they could dismantle the caste system, but first they needed to know their true history. Who Are the Shudras is not just a book about the past, it is a blueprint for change. Ambedkar's work laid the foundation for his fight against caste discrimination. As the architect of India's constitution, he outlawed untouchability and introduced reservations to uplift marginalized communities. His message? The caste system is not divine, it's a human creation, and humans can destroy it. He believed future generations would embrace his ideas, quoting the poet Bhavabhuti, "Time is infinite and earth is vast. Someone will appreciate what I have said." Today, Ambedkar's ideas inspire millions. His book forces us to question, are we still bound by the chains of caste? Can we build a society based on equality, not hierarchy? Who Are the Shudras is a wake-up call, a reminder that history is not just about the past, it is about shaping the future. Dr. B R Ambedkar's Who Are the Shudras is more than a book, it's a revolution. It challenges us to rethink history, question oppressive systems, and fight for justice. Whether you are new to this topic or deeply invested, Ambedkar's words demand action. So, what's next? Read the book, share this story, and join the fight for equality. Let us honor Ambedkar's legacy by building a world where no one is judged by their birth. I hope that I could explain the summary of the book Who Were the Shudras in detail. See you in the next video.